Thank you for joining us on Full Sail Minutes. Today's topic, music festivals. Apple's emerging technology that's changing how we experience festivals. Woodstock and its 45-year anniversary. Also, we have guest appearances from Russell Fabish, Michael Evis, and Grammy Award winner Drake. Live from Full Sail University, I give you your host, Saji Obatusen. Thank you for joining us. This year marks the 45-year anniversary of Woodstock. This is an important event in the history of music festivals. Woodstock took place in August of 1969. It was a free concert for the public, and it drew over 500,000 people. At that point in time, Woodstock was the largest gathering of human beings. Equally important to that is the fact that Woodstock had one of the most prolific concert lineups of all time. Music legends like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Carlos Santana, Grateful Dead, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and Sly Stone were all part of Woodstock at the time. Some people consider Woodstock to be the peak of Sly Stone's and Jimi Hendrix's careers. To this day, people who were coming of age during the 3-day event are sometimes referred to as the Woodstock generation. Charles Schulz names the yellow bird in his Peanuts cartoons Woodstock, after the historic festival. Today we're honored with the opportunity to have Russell Fabish, who is the founder of the Ultra Music Festival that takes place in Miami every March. Please help me welcome to our studios Russell Fabish. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Thanks for being with us. We have a few questions from our fans. The first one being, what inspired you to create this event?
Well, it's a love for music.
Okay.
And it's a fundamental of our philosophy.
Okay.
So we create this event when I was 21.
Okay.
I combine my love for music.
Okay.
And my idea of bringing people together.
Okay.
To create the events. So I'm glad it all worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And our second question being that, what do the fans want now that you would say they didn't want 10 years ago?
Well, I would say that they want more access.
Okay.
To the production.
Okay.
To the artists.
Okay.
And they want to see how we work, how we progress with the show.
Okay.
And I feel like we have more competitors now.
Okay.
Like the other music festival.
Yeah.
So because as of being we organize the event in spring break.
Okay.
So we are. I feel like we are the pace setter.
Okay.
Like we the start of everything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks again for being on our show with us today. It was glad to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. Technology is becoming a major game player in how we experience music festivals today. On September 12, 2007, Apple released a music application called MainStage that's beginning to change how we see and experience music festivals today. MainStage is a software that connects with just about any MIDI controller, allowing the musician to tweak and layer sounds as much as they want to on the fly. It also allows musicians to perform using backing tracks and customizing it to what's needed for the particular performance. It also allows musicians to record any audio signal that goes through their MacBook without having to rely on the sound engineer for a playback of the show they just did. This software is huge in that it's changing how music festival goers will experience the sounds they hear. Musicians are now able to deliver customized sounds through MainStage and not to have to rely on the sounds that are given to them on the keyboard they get when performing. Those who now go to music festivals are able to get a full experience and understanding of what's happening in a musician's mind. Today we are also joined by Michael Evis, who is the founder of the Glastonbury Music Festival. Michael, thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
Nice having you on the show. We have a few questions for you from some of our fans.
Okay.
They want to know, who was a big inspiration in your life?
A big inspiration in my life was probably Led Zeppelin. I actually saw him perform, and after that, I was just like, I want to be just like him when I grow up.
How was your life as a child?
As a child, well, my father, he was a Methodist preacher.
Okay.
My mother was a teacher, and I actually went to the school that she taught at.
Oh, okay. So you had disciplinarians
yeah.
as your. That's wow.
Probably like the worst childhood ever.
I can definitely understand that. I guess in terms of the Glastonbury Festival, who I guess from that was there from the beginning that's still helping you today?
I will have to say my daughter. She's been there ever since I can remember. Whenever I call her, she's there right on time, asking me, do I ever need help for anything?
Okay,
So, like, I can only count on my daughter for helping me.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks for being on our show today. We really appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
All right. Our last guest on today's show is none other than Grammy Award-winning Mr. Drizzy Drake. How you doing?
Doing real good, man.
Nice to have you on
Real
the show
good.
today.
Thanks. I'm pleased to be here.
We have a few questions, obviously, from our fans, which is why we brought you here today. And the first question just being that, why do you put on OVO Fest?
Well, it's my way of giving back and showing love to my hometown of Toronto up in Canada. And I bring in like big name stars like Big Sean, Rick Ross, Outkast, Kanye West. You know, people who would otherwise never perform in Canada.
Okay.
Most of these stars don't even perform together on the same bill over in America.
Okay.
So, you know, bringing them to Canada and putting them all on the same bill is huge, man.
Yeah, it is. It's that. Well, that's a game changer in terms of music festivals. Period. Which leads us actually to our next question. I guess from OVO Fests and all that sort of stuff that you're doing, is there anything that we can expect from you in the future, in the near future,
Well,
in regards to OVO Fest?
Oh, absolutely. You know, earlier you mentioned in your interview, you know, being a game changer and stuff.
Okay.
And that's like one of my goals, you know. That's why my latest album's called Nothing Was the Same, you know, because
that's true.
nothing's been the same since I touched down in this music industry. So this year, you know, to keep the game changing, I started my label, OVO Sound. I got it off the ground. And during 2014, I released EPs by Majid Jordan,
Okay.
Party Next Door, and I Love Mackinnon, who right now has a hit called Tuesday, burning up the charts, featuring yours truly on there. And I'm going to release albums, full-length albums by all three of those artists next year.
Wow. So there's a lot of work coming from that we should expect from you over the next year.
Oh yeah, I'm also going to put out my own album next year too.
Okay. Wow.
And you know,
So
and maybe I'll borrow a couple more of Chris Brown's ex-girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? You know,
definitely.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he'll be too pleased hearing that.
It's all good fun. I love you, Chris. But you know, people on the song "Miss Me," you know, I said Drake stood for do right and kill everything, but Drake also stands for do Rihanna and Karuchi every day. You know, that's another acronym for it.
All right. Well, thanks for being on our show today, and that concludes the end of our show on Full Sail Minutes today. Thanks for joining us.